Hi, and welcome to the Nourish Collaborative podcast. My name is Mary Beth Sheehan, and I am the owner and founder of the Nourish Collaborative in Kingston, Massachusetts. And just to give you a background on what Nourish is and how it came to be, I've been a medium and spiritual mind body practitioner for 10 years now. And it was really important to me that when I started thinking about opening my own business and doing a wellness center, I really wanted something that captured all modalities of healing and looking at everything from the mind, the body, and the physical aspect of things and the soul aspects of things. So what Nourish is a collaboration of all of that together. And we have such wonderful practitioners that have come together. We have doctors, we have nurse practitioners, we have counselors, we have therapists, we have hypnosis. And it's just something that we really are going to continue to push the boundaries on healing and really bring to a large audience of figuring out how we can help ourselves to heal and use the aspects of everything that the universe has to give us to be able to heal. Um, so yeah, welcome. And I want to welcome in studio with me is Dr. Jen DuPont, who is one of our practitioners at Nourish, and life coach Sue Morrell.
Thank
All right.
you. Psyched to be
Hello.
here.
Yes, so happy to be here and very excited to be sitting down with you too.
Awesome. Jen, tell us about how you got into Nourish and what is your why? I love hearing people's why. And that's one of the biggest questions I'll ask when somebody wanted to come on board with Nourish.
Mhm.
What is your why?
Yeah. um, Honestly, I feel like I have so many whys, and it just comes from different areas of my life. Growing up, I cooked all the time with my dad, and he taught me how to cook so many things. And I have so many great memories of being in the kitchen and learning about food and eating food and the joy that comes with that. And then I was a very competitive athlete. And as a teenager, I got super interested in what do I need to eat to play my best? What do I need to eat to, you know, um, be my healthiest? And so that led to me being really interested in exercise physiology. And that's what I went to college for. And that just kind of, um, from there, I stayed in college for a very long long time.
Doctor.
I just I guess I liked it, and so I got interested in other parts of health, cardiovascular disease, and that's kind of what I did all my graduate work in and what I do, now as a professor. But my passion for food and helping people is really what drives my love for working with people one-on-one with nutrition coaching. I think as a professional, and as a person in the world, there's so much information out there about nutrition, and people are so confused
Mhm.
because
Right.
there's incorrect information out there. There's correct information. There's some information that may be good for one person, but not good for another person. So I just really I feel like my mission is just to help people see the simplicity of it and to figure out what works for them and to understand that just because your neighbor down the street does one thing doesn't mean that's the best for you, and you can still enjoy the food you
Mhm.
love and achieve health. Like, it's completely possible. So that was a long answer, but I have so many I love food, I love people, I love helping people, I love health. So I don't know, it kind of rolls all together.
No, it's great. It was
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I loved when I first met you. You were so honest in the sense to say, I love food. And I'm not gonna ever, take that away from anybody. And I've been, so many health wellness programs that will say, okay, cut this, cut that, don't eat this. And then you go to the supermarket and you're like, what do I buy? I don't know what to do. And so I just love the aspect of how much you integrated like cooking in your own kitchen and not eliminating anything. And it's real. It's like you're a mom, you have kids, and you know that you're very relatable to a lot of families.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I feel that's what I wanna project of, like, yes, I'm a mom, I'm a real person, I love to cook with my daughter just like I cooked with my dad, and,
Mhm.
we make cookies, we make cake, we make pizza, and we enjoy all things, and we do plenty of healthy things in our lives too, so
Right.
it just all kind of balances out to be
Mhm.
this nice integrated, fulfilled approach to food and living and just being a human.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
great.
And that's it, the balance and the grace that you give yourself with anything in life, really. So, my role at Nourish as a life and health coach, I'm certified in both. I think they go hand in hand in so many cases, but was really my own journey, like most, have a story behind why I'm here and what propelled me to get certified as a life coach. But I've experienced a lot of loss in a short amount of time, as they refer to that as compound grief. And this really took me off track for a while in my life. And a lot of suffering caused me to go, sort of spiral a little bit, bad habits that were not the greatest. And so a coach and coaches, I've had so many of them in my life, both athletic and otherwise, really helped me get better, improve a little bit each day, and help me get back to feeling more like myself. And I feel very drawn to being able to help people do that because by definition, and I really love the definition of a coach, having been one and hopefully helping more people in this journey that I'm on now is to help someone improve and perform better. And I think the work that we're doing at Nourish and the training that I have and just my experience in really suffering with grief and, um, just the suffering part and really having to take one step at a time to get back on track. I feel strongly that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So thankfully, in my grief and sort of suffering, I was always exercising. So I knew how to be disciplined. I knew how to stay on track with that. And I think just because I knew how to do one thing well to keep myself going, it did bleed into being able to get myself back on track. So part of what Jen and I together are hoping to do and reach people with is a sustainable lifestyle. And that means small changes, but that also means they swing big doors. So coupling small change after small change after small change can really transform someone's way of living and lifestyle. And it doesn't have to feel like a total overhaul. And it's so important because people are busy and life is busy and habits are hard to break. And so I think just what we're trying to do here with you at Nourish is help people make small incremental changes that will make big changes for them in the long term, in the long run.
Yeah, and that's important for people to understand that it's not gonna happen overnight, and it takes a lot of different angles to really look at it and to kinda hit it in different areas.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, and I think one thing people don't realize too is that it's really consistency is the key, right? So it's not perfection. We're not looking for you to eat perfectly or to hit every single one of your daily goals every single day of your life. It's about being consistent. And when you're consistent over time, that's when the big changes really start happening. It's not perfection driving change. It's consistency.
Right.
Well, in a big part of what I know we've talked about and focus on is showing up for yourself. And it's a mindset shift, really, because every day a lot of us show up for our kids and show up for our bosses and we show up for our jobs and families. But showing up for yourself is really a mindset shift because it gets you really focused on the why you need to make change and the having the right system, the right process, the right accountability in place is what we're trying to provide with the programming that we put together because it really does provide the right support and that's really important, but system that works for whoever is working with us because I think the goal of our program, and we can talk a little bit about that, is let's just make it work for you, not like Jen said, something that works for me is not going to work for Mary Beth necessarily. And so I think it's finding the fit for whoever needs the help, is looking for help, and just to take that step and saying, yeah, I could get better in my life in one particular area.
Right. Right. Do you guys wanna talk about your new program?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So Sue and I have designed a 12-week program that incorporates nutrition coaching. So it's one-on-one nutrition coaching. You get an individualized nutrition plan based on your goals, your current lifestyle. your needs, and you have 12 weeks of life coaching with Sue. And so my part in this is really helping you identify changes you can make to your diet. So I always have clients fill out, a food diary so I can get an idea of what are they currently eating, 3 to 5 days. Give me a weekend. Give me some weekdays, right? Our weekends sometimes look different than our weekdays. So I like to start with that as my framework. I'm not going to have anyone do a 180 and say you're gonna eat this is the I'm gonna take what you're currently doing, and let's make some small changes every single week, and then by the end of that 12 weeks, yeah, your diet probably will look quite different than it did the beginning of that 12 weeks. So my part is really helping you identify, okay, which foods can I add, and it's really about what can you add. It's not about let's take everything off your plate. Let's add some protein. Let's add some fiber. And I'm also going to talk about kind of other aspects of, how much are you moving? Are you going for walks? Some simple things that will help, achieve those goals. And then Sue will come in and really help, right? I'll help give you the knowledge, and then Sue's going to come in and really help you make those behavior changes and make those habits stick.
Yeah, and I think that that's what I'm so excited about because I feel like and we don't even realize this, but habit, what we do is so habitual. 43% of our day is completely habitual. 43%. I mean,
43%, that's a lot.
it's a
Yeah.
lot, right? And so it's not our fault that we can't stick with things. I mean, it's hard because we're wired to do certain things. And so in order to break these habits and create new ones, there needs to be a systematic unwinding of these like self-defeating behaviors that get you back on track. And so part of what I love about what we're doing is we're helping you identify what you really want and why. Like the why has to be a big part of the conversation. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to exercise a little more? And ultimately, everyone wants to just improve a little bit. And like I said, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you get better at eating, you're naturally going to start to feel like you want to move more and you're going to start sleeping better. And it just really is a domino effect. So, and then creating achievable and measurable goals. And we have a bunch of simple frameworks that really help people stay on track and accountable to what we work with them on. And then an action plan. I mean, most people, if you ask them what they need to do, they know what they need to do, but the accountability and the actions to get there are hard because
Right,
of the habitual wiring.
right.
um, so different tactics, and I'll just give a few examples, but I find them to be really instrumental in my own journey is sort of showing up for yourself, getting up in the morning for yourself, getting out of bed for you, not your dog, not your kids, but for you. Exercise because you get to, not because you have to. And these simple, really small tweaks in how you're approaching things. Consume healthy food because it makes you feel better, not because the scale's going to change or you have to deprive yourself. It's really how you and just those little mindset tweaks, I think, will really help people with the accountability that we have in place. So we're excited about this. I think it will really um, resonate with folks, and we are living it. So I think the experience of doing it is really helpful.
What I love about this too, and because I'm looking at it from an energetic standpoint and I'm looking at it like what these changes can ultimately do in someone's life is you're teaching somebody how to self-love, right?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
that is huge because if we don't know how to self-love, it literally changes how we manifest.
Hmm.
So when we can raise our vibration and we can self-love, we will manifest on such a different level.
Yes.
So that small door that we might have just opened actually becomes this huge, catalyst forward way more than we realize.
Mhm.
Well, and creating that awareness for someone to show them, like, did you see that small door you just opened? And that's been a big part of me working even with some of our own practitioners is the awareness of that little crack that you
Right.
made. And that's something we can help with our clients is, did you notice this? Because it's small, it's subtle, but the awareness is key.
Yeah, and that changes universal energy as to what you're going to drive towards you.
I love
And
it.
so all of that, even if you're just making these tiny little changes, you're shifting energy in your own body that what you're going to put out you're when you're giving yourself that much self-love and that much awareness as to finding boundaries with things and saying no to things and maybe integrating new things, that is definitely going to change how you manifest, and it could, you know, filter into all different areas of your life.
Which we all need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I totally look at, like, cooking for yourself, preparing a meal for yourself is an act of self-love. Like,
Yes.
how
Yeah,
much
I love
effort
that.
are you putting into your meals? What are the quality of the ingredients that you're putting into your meals? That's an act of self-love for you, and then every time you cook something for your family or your friends, that is a way to show love. Like,
Right.
uh well, I'm a very proud Italian American, and, if you've ever come to my house or you've ever been like, I love cooking for people because it's just how it's a big love language
It's
for
your love
me.
language,
Yes, a
Jen.
big love language for me. So if you guys wanna come over soon, you can come on over.
Get those meatballs
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But here's something I just want to underscore as we start to get into just sharing a little bit about our upcoming info session is the reason this program is different, at least we find it to be a differentiator because there's a lot of programs out there, there's a lot of options and people may or may not choose to sort of go with us or find out more, but really what to look for in any sort of successful program will be having a program that has three key things: the right system, which is setting you up for success, the right support, which is what Jen and I are in place to do, and then the right accountability, which is a combination, a collaborative effort, and something that we really would ask from our participants. But those are sort of the pillars. That's what we think is different about our program because we're collectively and collaboratively working, and we have all of those covered because of our work together. That's what I think is making this a
Yeah.
little bit different.
Yeah, and I think that it's really unique that anyone that signs up for this program gets an individual check-in with me every week, and then they get an individual check-in with you every week. So if they do the check-in with me first, then me and you, or vice versa, then
Yeah.
we'll chat before they have their second check-in, and we can communicate on each person going through this program so that we have those open lines, and you can say, oh, so and so has had a stressful week so far. We talked about this, maybe you should touch on these points at your meeting, things like that. So I think having that, it's like double accountability from
Right.
many other
Absolutely.
programs
Right.
out there right now for nutrition or life coaching or, so
Yes.
by combining this, it's, kind of hitting all aspects of your life where, you know, um, you don't have anywhere to hide. We're gonna ask you all the questions about everything you're doing, but that's gonna be a good thing because you're gonna have to answer them, and then you're gonna realize the areas that you really need to make change or want to make change, and I think that's a really special thing.
Yeah.
Well, I also think too, when you're looking at your food, I think a lot of people do emotionally eat or make
Absolutely.
choices based on their emotions or how they're feeling. And so I always find like when you I know from nutrition programs in the past when I've done it, I'm like, wow, maybe I was more depressed than I thought. Or I was picking
Yes.
that because I was stressed. And so having the life coach and someone to talk to, even on that aspects of things, I think is so great.
Well, and a
Yeah.
big part too, to your point, is just also so many people fall off track for whatever reason, but the big part of this is to give yourself grace and to have us to help you get back on track because so many diets and so many lifestyle changes fail because they don't have the right system in place to then get back on. We all fall off. I mean,
Right.
this is life.
We're
We're
humans. We're
human
flawed.
beings,
Yeah. That
Yep.
and the giving yourself and each other grace to just have a day and eat a brownie sundae for every meal, whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
The next day, just don't do that.
Right, right. That's where the
right.
consistency comes in, right?
Yes,
You can have a brownie sundae, but if you're having it every day or every meal, that's
that's right.
that's where the problem is.
It's 90-10.
Yeah,
And that's,
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
90% of the time you're going to do it and 10% you're not. And that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Exactly,
exactly.
You know,
exactly.
it's the same when I teach coaching and I coach, on breath work or I coach on meditation, people assume your mind can automatically go into meditation. That is not the case. It's like
Mm,
going to the gym. You have to train your brain to do it. Your brain is conditioned to do certain things.
Mhm.
yeah.
Your conscious brain is conditioned to just go about your day. Like you
Mhm.
said, 40, what is it, 40% of your
43%.
day?
Mhm.
Yeah, of your day is just that's your conscious brain just doing what it knows what to do.
Yeah,
And
so
so
true.
you know, you have to learn to work the subconscious and the unconscious brain when you're going into those practices. And so this is no different. You're just working it from a different angle,
Right.
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, it's so true. Should we
Tell
talk
us
a little bit about the program? Well, we
yes.
we really want to encourage and promote our info session that we're having on February 6th. It's a Thursday evening from 6 to 7. This is free for anyone listening to join and learn a little bit more about what we're calling our New-trition, NEW, to really come in strong to the new year. And we're offering it through Nourish as Jen and I have talked about this, a joint program where you get both nutrition and life coaching. And we'll really spend time on the 6th with different tools, frameworks, and just general knowledge that's very simple to understand. So you'll leave educated whether or not you do the program or not. This is something that will educate you. You'll leave having learned more than you knew coming in, and we'll just be excited to meet you. So if you're available and around 6 to 7 on February 6th.
Yep, and if you can't make it on February 6th, feel free to send us an email, or stop by, come in and just chat with us, and we're always happy to meet with anyone and, chat and see if the program will be a good fit for you.
Yeah, and just to give our address is 431 Country Club Way, and that is in Kingston. It is the Stonecroft building, so you will see the Nourish signs there. Um, and this has been our first podcast, and it definitely will not be our last. So, our goal is to bring you info on all different types of modalities in healing and really, get out there and really push the boundaries of healing. And that's what Nourish is all about. And so, thank you for listening and tune in next time.
And just to find out more about programs and to email practitioners that you might be interested in connecting with, www.nourishcollaborative.com. Thanks everyone for listening.